So Lifeweaver was just enabled in competitive a couple of days ago, and the response has been anything but positive. It's seen notoriously win 0 and 15 playing Lifeweaver, and dropped from Masters 4 all the way down to Plat 4 on support. I'll play the clip now if you haven't seen it.
Oh, here's the D rank. Oh, higher than 77%. Let's go.
I've played a few games of competitive since Lifeweaver had been enabled, but I had to stop since I had a couple of games where my other support locked to Lifeweaver, and our tank either just AFK'd in spawn or straight up started throwing. Even while I'm writing this script, I'm watching ML7 play some Lifeweaver on stream, and he is currently going 4 and 10 on him for the day. So yeah, the Overwatch community's reaction to Lifeweaver being available in ranked now has been pretty unanimously negative. So what has gone wrong? Oh yeah, before we get into it, please look at this. Please subscribe. I'm begging you. Thank you. So going straight for the throat, Lifeweaver is just a hero that is not going to work well in a ranked ladder setting. His strengths lie mainly within teamwork and team coordination, allowing his teammates to make plays which they would not be able to otherwise through the use of his pedal platforms. However, 90% of the time, teammates will just waste these platforms. I was watching Dafran doing his unranked to top 500 with Lifeweaver, and at one point on Symboli Monastery, he threw down a platform for his team to use later, and his Sigma literally just dropped off high ground, stepped on the platform, wasted it, and then just stayed low ground. And I feel like this literally costs them the first part of the map.
Dude. Okay, where can I put platforms? I need to help Hancho, maybe. But it doesn't even help him. I'm gonna put it here. No. Why? Dude, this is a disadvantage. The platform just makes them want to go have fun and go on the platform.
Lifeweaver, a hero whose only strength is in his ability to enable teammates, and 90% of the time teammates will completely waste his cooldowns or have no idea what to even do with them. It's basically required to have a mic and to tell your teammates what to do with your platforms to even have a chance of them being used to benefit your team. And without Lifeweaver's platforms being used properly, he's incredibly underwhelming as a support in almost every other aspect. He heals for less than Mercy does, and while his damage is somewhat decent on paper, being 110 damage per second, which is just a bit under Baptiste and Zenyatta's damage output, the spread and travel time on his projectiles make it hard to get the hang of using it and to get the maximum value out of it. I also feel like a very big problem with Lifeweaver is his reliance on teamwork, and in high elo, Grandmaster and above, you can't even play with more than 2 people at once. Theoretically, he could still be really good if you could play with a team and communicate with them and know what you're running and what plays you're going to make with it, but once you get to Grandmaster, that's not even allowed. At most, you can only have one other person who knows what you're going to be trying to do with platforms and can play around them. You can't even have a full team of people who can play around your platforms that you're queuing with. It's just a very massive oversight for this character that once you get to Grandmaster, you can't even play with people that you know will be able to take advantage of his platforms. Comparing Pedal Platform to other utilities, Lucia's speed boost is much more simpler to get value out of. You usually don't even need to comment. People will just naturally understand that go fast equals go in. Or if you're losing a fight, then go fast now means leave fast. Speed just enhances your team's natural movements for a fight, so it's not as easy to f*** up as something like Lifeweaver's platform is, but a more similar ability would be Symmetra's Teleporter, as it performs a similar function in relocating your team. But Teleporter isn't just a one-time use ability like Pedal Platform is. You can take it as many times as you want, and it's much simpler since you just take it from one place and it takes you to another location. That's it. Pedal Platform, on the other hand, you can leave it on the ground and it won't disappear until it's used, or the Lifeweaver places a new one. So if you place one down to use as an escape for yourself or to use later, a teammate may just touch it early and waste it if you don't communicate that to them properly. It's also just not as simple as a teleporter in what it's intended to be used for by the Lifeweaver. It could be an escape platform. It could be used to get high ground during a fight. It could just be meant to be stood on so that your damaged characters can use it as a free, brand new high ground during a fight. There's a lot more you can do with it than a Symmetra TP. And unlike a Symmetra TP, it's very temporary. If you go up with it and then drop off of it, it's now completely unusable. And what's probably the worst thing about Lifeweaver is that he's the least survivable hero in the game. Even Zenyatta has more survivability than Lifeweaver does. I have no idea what Blizzard was smoking when they decided to make a support with 200 health that has a hitbox that is the same size as tank heroes. Lifeweaver is an absolutely massive himbo that gets absolutely rolled by any flankers, especially Sombra. Sombra just completely destroys him. And to make things worse, the only form of self-healing that he has aside from the support passive is his boot-like Tracer Blink that heals him for only 25 health when he uses it. This is almost nothing compared to what some other supports have. If Baptiste is below half health, his Sift heals himself for a total of 150 health, and Baptiste also has his jump to give him mobility and escape, and also has an immortality field. Even Kiriko's Suzu, which provides a cleanse and invulnerability, heals for 50 health, which is more than Lifeweaver's stupid little Das does. Lifeweaver would be fine as a duelist if he wasn't so easy to kill, since on paper his damage isn't that bad, but the spread means he has to be in close to fight someone. And with his massive hitbox and low self-healing, he will lose almost any duel that he tries to take because he's just so easy to hit. His primary having spread means that he wants to get in close to enemies to fight, but his massive hitbox and lack of sustain makes him want to play far away as safe as possible to avoid being killed. This character is at war with himself about what he wants to do. Right now, so many people play him as a platform-placing heal bot in ranked, and his healing isn't even very good. So many other heroes are better at him at playing safe and still being able to provide value. So playing Lifeweaver, if your team isn't able to help you whenever you are under attack, then you have to start keeping your platform nearby you in order to use it to escape, since his platform is actually very good when it's being used properly and with intent, which is usually only by the Lifeweaver himself because he knows what he placed it there to do. But at that point, why are you even playing Lifeweaver? If you aren't taking advantage of his platforms to help out your allies, he is just way too frail to be able to offer both utility to his team while also not dying to almost anything. Now to talk some good about him, because people have been locking him a lot in my games this week, and I have seen some scenarios where he performed well, given that I think the only games where I won with a Lifeweaver on my team were also games where the other team also have a Lifeweaver, so the fact that he's kind of bad canceled each other out right there. The main potential that I see for Lifeweaver in ranked right now is to be used only on certain parts of maps where you can really take advantage of his platform, to the point where the value you get from the platform actually outweighs all of the negatives of playing Lifeweaver. And outside of those areas, literally any support would be better to use than him. So quickly, here's a brief montage of some of the most useful locations on maps where I think you might actually be able to get some use out of Lifeweaver, assuming that your team will actually coordinate with you, which is highly unlikely. So is Lifeweaver good? Not really. He rides and dies based around teamwork the most out of any support hero in the game. At his peak, he's probably one of the most impactful heroes in the game, being able to create free high ground out of nothing at any moment, and can even use platforms twice in a row with proper planning before a fight, and of course if his teammates don't troll him by wasting the platforms early. But at his worst, which is probably like 80% of the time that he's played, he's a borderline throw pick with lower healing output than Mercy, and a massive hitbox that makes him one of the easiest heroes to kill in the game. If you were to put Glock, Mercy, and Lifeweaver into a 1v1 cage match, my money would be on the Mercy to win that fight, no joke. I just think Lifeweaver is that underwhelming in any sort of dueling scenario. Well, that's it for this video. If you liked it, please subscribe. Tell me if you also hate having Lifeweaver on your team in the comments. And until next time, see ya.